What's up? Okay, we're back for more Honkai Impact 3. This time, there are 3 more before the Dark Lord. But before that, let's explore the Elder Ruins. Where are the Elder Ruins? I passed it. Okay, where? Okay. Okay, story time. Late night that day, near the entrance to Elder Ruins. Phew! Here must be the Elder Ruins in the book. Yeah, that's right. Any adventurer who wishes to enter the Dark Castle must pass the Grand Sage test here. Shut up, idiot DJ. I wasn't talking to you. Seele asked me a question and I was obliged to instruct her. Shut up. Don't make me repeat. Oh, ouch. Delta gave the water djinn a vicious look and silenced her immediately. Miss Delta, please don't be mean to Miss Water Djinn. It was my bad. I shouldn't. Be quiet now as well, Seele. Seele. Ouch. Dot. Why are you so... what is that called? So aggressive on us. I don't know if that's the word. The silent ruins become even more eerie, now that only their anxious breath could be heard. Delta observed the surrounding with a clear head, but she could see nothing except endless broken walls. It's too quiet here, unnaturally quiet. Seele, what's wrong with her? Does she always act this weird? Shh, don't talk, Mr. Djinn. Miss Delta might... Hey, idiot Djinn. What? I wasn't bad-mouthing about you. Not even a word. Can you feel the existence of water in here? Eh? Are you thirsty, Miss Delta? I have a few bottles spring water in my backpack. No, Seele. I meant flowing water. Idiot Djinn, is there flowing water in these ruins? Delta, didn't anyone tell you to ask nicely when you need a favor? I don't really appreciate your manners. You... The water djinn stopped all of a sudden, seemed to have realized something, and her face turned grave. No, I can't feel any running water here. Dot. No running water. Is that a serious problem? Running water means life, but everything here is still and dead. But isn't the Grand Sage supposed to be here? The adventurer's guide says the Grand Sage has been here for ages, waiting for worthy adventurers to defeat evil. But the book doesn't mention whether the Grand Sage is alive or not, right? You mean... The Grand Sage might be dead. Ugh. Or there wasn't any Grand Sage to begin with. Huh? If so, how did Bronya and adventurer before her get to the Dark Castle? Yeah, how did they do it? Water Djinn? Huh? Why ask me? I've never been to the Dark Castle. How should I know? Eh? Delta, I think you're being paranoid. And? Maybe this is part of the Grand Sage trial. Maybe she concealed all signs of life and she is watching how we would respond somewhere. Is it so? It's just a guess. Keep talking. Maybe the Grand Sage is behind some stone tablet. We should press on and look around. No, we're resting here tonight. We'll resume tomorrow at first light. Huh? Unknown dangers might be lurking in the darkness. Besides, Delta walked up to Seele and patted her shoulder. Wake up, Seele. Huh? Miss Delta. So, sorry, I shouldn't have Seele over here. Oh, okay. Seele followed Delta to a broken wall a few steps away. It's a few hours before dawn. Seele, drop your backpack and sleep here. You didn't get any shut-eye for 2 straight days. Rest well and we'll continue at dawn. Eh? There's a small patch of grass here. Beats the hard ground of rocks. You seem aloof, but you actually care about me. Whatever. Oh, then I should probably have a rest too. The ground over there looks flat. I'm going to sleep there. Let me see if I can make a waterbed with my aqua power. Don't go too far. Volodygin sauntered away, yawning. Seele lay on a small patch of grass and used her cloak as a blanket. She then scooched over to make some room. Miss Delta, would you like to lie down here? This grass patch should be enough for the both of us. Nah, I'll go over there. Delta pointed at the pile of broken I don't know if that's steels or steles nearby. What? Those are rocks. You won't be able to have a good sleep on them. It's the best spot for night watch. I have a wider view there, and I can help the both of you in case of an emergency. Night watch? Aren't you going to sleep? You don't look tired at all though. I'm used to staying up late. Plus, when spending the night in the wild, you have to have someone keep watch. It's basic knowledge for adventurers. Oh, right. Now I remember, I read it in Adventurer's Guide. Well then, can I watch the night tomorrow? Nah, it's that idiot Dijon's turn tomorrow. Shh. While the Dijon's loud snore came with a cool night breeze. Can't believe she already fell asleep. Meh. Delta grabbed her weapon and walked toward the pile of steels. I think it's steels. I don't know. Thank you, Miss Delta. For what? I think this is the adventures of the brave. Burp, as I have always imagined. Strong determination, reliable companion, and excitement about the unknown future. Don't thank me. It's you who made the move. I did nothing. If you have to thank someone, thank your own courage then. No responses was heard. They'll turn around only to find that Seele had already fallen asleep. Delta let out a sigh. She then walked up to the pile of steels, sat down, and quietly looked up to the clear, starry sky. She could feel her fatigue. She was just trying to elude sleep, or more precisely, its derivative dreams. Delta hadn't had any dreams for a long time. Dreaming is a sign of deep slumber, while Delta could wake up at any second. Close her eyes, clear her mind, and open her eyes 5 minutes later. This has been her way of sleeping. However, this time she suddenly heard something the moment she closed her eyes. It was piercing, howling wind. Is that a burning? It's burning. Delta immediately opened her eyes only to find herself lying in thick snow. She tried to stand up, but the snow trapped her like quicksand. The harder she tried, the deeper she sank. Sorry. Her body temperature kept dropping, and she gradually lost consciousness in a daze. She heard someone calling her name. Not her code name Delta, but her real name, the one that she had lost a long time ago. She recalled that night of raging snowstorms, where this endless nightmare began. Actually, she wished it was just a long nightmare, because no matter how terrible nightmares appeared, they would always dissipate when she woke up in the morning, and her loved one would be by her side. Oh, it's Lilia, and gently wipe her tears. But how could she ever wake up in reality? Delta pinched herself as hard as she could. Tatatat. Yeah, it's Lilia. No, Lilia died. The glaring sunlight hurt Delta's eyes. Owie. To her surprise, she had a headache. She rubbed her forehead in bewilderment. What happened? I fell asleep? But why? Seele? Idiot Dijin? No one answered. There was nobody in view. Only Sele's little backpack was lying on the grass patch. I shouldn't have let my guard down. You have something to do with that weird dream I just had, don't you? Delta looked up at a small figure perching on top of the stone wall in front of her. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm not in a good mood right now. You better not beat around the bush and waste my time. Waste your time? There must be some misunderstanding, adventurer. You're talking to the legendary Grand Sage, the master of ruins and the arranger of your trials. Ranger. Okay. I need to clear my throat. No collection. Okay, we're finished. Okay, story time 2. That's the Grand Sage! You're talking to the arranger of your trials. The Grand Sage? You? I assume you to be much bigger than this. Seeming a bit annoyed at Delta's taunt, the sage flew to a taller stele and stood up on top of it, looking down at Delta. The Grand Sage does not refer to the size of stature. Rather, it's about the massiveness of my wisdom, insight, grace, and cut the crap. Just tell me how to get to the Dark Castle. Though Delta hadn't made any move, her tail already raised her greatsword and pointed it at the small figure. Alas, young adventurer always lacked patience. The Grand Sage didn't seem to be daunted by Delta's threat. She let out a sigh and nudged the tip of the sword aside. Before you start to explore the ruins, don't you want to know where your missing companions are? At the moment, they might be suffering or facing terrifying enemies somewhere in the ruins. So what? What did you say? What does their suffering have to do with me? Are you saying that you won't tell me how to get to the Dark Castle unless I save them? Of course not. I'm just shocked to see an adventurer abandon her companions without hesitation. I'm not an adventurer and they are not my companions. Alright. Well then, adventurer, it's time to follow my guidance and finish your trials in the ruins. The Grand Sage took out a scroll of parchment from her sleeve and cleared her throat. Master Adventurer, welcome to this time-honored Elder Ruins. You and your past will first explore the amazing magic of displacement. If you are separated from one another, under the magic, please do not panic, as it will be the ruins test of you. Your friendship and lofty ambition will bind your hearts together and lead you through the trials to the secret. Bam! Delta abruptly slashed the stele on which the Grand Sage was standing in half. Get to the point, I don't have time for beginner's tutorial. Be patient, adventurer. Listening to the Grand Sage instruction is part of your trials. Can't I skip this part and hear my quest already? No, you cannot. It's how the system works. Yeah, it's how the system works. Fine, whatever. Always so impatient. How about we try something simpler and more efficient? I ask questions and you answer them with a simple yes or no. You think you can do this? The Grand Sage glanced at the slit, still at the pink great sword in front of her, and nodded with a shiver. Question number 1. Seele and that idiot Dijin are both alive and haven't left the ruins. Yes or no? If you're referring to the other two adventurers, then yes. Question number 2. There are other Grand Sages in the ruins. Yes or no? How did you know? I just took a guess. According to you, all adventures will be tested separately at different locations in the ruins. Which means I've met you, Seele and the idiot Dijin would meet their own grand sages who give them instructions. Of course, it's also possible that you test us at different times, but your reaction just now validated my first guess. Oh, she got her good. ... Well then, question number 3. What should I do to leave this place and get to the floating isles and dark castle? Miss Adventure, could you please show some respect for the ruins and me? Who would ask for walkthroughs about the final boss stage at the newbie tutorial? Players who are only interested in the result, like me. ... Fine, if you're in such a hurry, here's the most difficult puzzle in the ruins. I'm listening. Imagine that this complicated array of puzzle of the ruins is something like a board game being played by the gods, and the adventurers are observers of the game. Even if they knew every rule, however, they might not able to understand why a particular card is played in the game. But when they know the rules, they consider that they can solve all the puzzles of the ruins. ... This is one of the oldest puzzles of the ruins. No adventurers ever solve it. You don't understand a word of it, do you? Hahaha, you were like... I know this reference. It's from the Feynman lecture of physics. What? The original text should be... We can imagine that this complicated array of moving things which constitutes the world in something like a great chess game being played by the gods, and we are observers of the game. Even if we knew every rule, however, we might not be able to understand why a particular move is made in the game. If we know the rules, we consider that we understand the world. That's all I could remember. That book was so boring I only read a few pages before I gave it away. Who would have thought your puzzle comes exactly from the few pages I read? Alright, so what's the question of... This isn't right. Why would you know the content of the scriptures left by the Grand Sage? Left by the Grand Sage? No, I didn't say anything. You heard nothing. Alas, Jingwei, you're such an embarrassment. You've wasted so much time and still failed to take her out, and you've almost revealed our secret. Shame on you. What? Jingwei? I'm the Grand Sage of the Ruins. Oh, save it. You've only been disgracing the Grand Sage, you little coward. They'll turn around and saw an indigo figure about the same size as the Grand Sage. She was standing on a higher stair looking down at the two. So you are another Grand Sage, huh? Ha hey. Ew, what the fuck? That's right. And I am the true master of the ruins, the herald of the freezing netherworld, and the dark angel of eternal sleep, the Grand Sage X. Puff, are you trying to be funny? Reverse psychology. Though Grand Sage X looked very embarrassed, she still managed to maintain her pose for her debut. Oh, that's her persona. You know some adventures like this type. Why are you here, Grand Sage X? I wouldn't stop for fatuous adventurers who couldn't even pass the first trial. You're saying they both failed? Correct. Now it's your turn. Before Grand Sage X could finish talking, the Grand Sage hurriedly flew over and muffled her. Shh, she's just saying, darling adventure. It's time to start your trial, right, Grand Sage X? Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. What are you doing? You almost spilled the beans. I don't know if you can hear me, Eleanor. I don't know what we're dealing with. See those thick stone stairs? Just cut them with like butter. I was just worried about you, and I don't want to play the game with them anymore. I never win. Alright, I'll think of some excuses to trick her. You'll play along and follow my lead. You know there's no team channel for you too. I can hear you, right? Tut. Anyway, time is running out. Get ready for your trials, adventure. Okay, I'd like to see how you're gonna trick me. Ahem. Please follow me to this ancient triangular stair array, adventure. Please stand on the circular floor surrounded by the 3 stairs to activate the device. That's it? You call this a trial? This is just the beginning. The trials are designed to be an evolutionary process of increasing difficulty. Don't waste too much time on the beginning. Just stand there so that we can give you further instructions. Delta cast a suspicious glance at them and they casually walked to the spot as they instructed. The next moment, the 3 stairs began to emit green light, forming a cage with a click which trapped Delta inside. So this is the real trial for adventurers. Save it, you crafty Dark Lord. Dark Lord? Who would have thought the Dark Lord has secretly evolved this far? You even have a few human form now, and you use it to trick those adventurers. Thank goodness we saw through your rose before it's too late, and transferred the 2 adventurers to a safe place. What is your evil plan? To murder the adventurers, to steal the secret of the ruins, or... Bam! Delta suddenly thrust her greatsword into the ground. You called yourself grand sages, more like grand morons. I couldn't be less interested in the adventurers or the stupid secret of your stupid ruins. I told you, I just want to know the way to the Dark Castle. Delta then stamped her foot on the ground a few times. That click came from underground, right? And it doesn't sound solid when I hit the ground with my sword or foot. There's space down there, am I right? Shoot. These stairs and broken walls are all just camouflage. The real ruins are underground. Don't bother to think of an answer, grand sages. The looks on your faces already gave the answer to me. As for to get down there, I won't need your help on that either. Delta tightly grabbed the hill. Countless cracks began to sprawl into the ground from the landing point of the blade. Wake up, sleeping beauty. Shatter this place for me. Is that it? Oh. 1... Am I already going to the right place? Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of cage. It's a big cage. Meanwhile, somewhere under the ruins. Choose race, elf or half-elf? Half-elf. Choose class, mage or warrior? Mage. Are you sure you want to be an half-elf warrior, Miss Voller? What the fuck? I know. I got the half-elf right, but the warrior no. This one looks strong. Can I be her? Of course, race and class confirmed. Initiating character attributes, abilities, features, and equipment. In a badly lit chamber, 4 figures were sitting around a stone table. I made my choice. Here you are, Miss Alice. The girl called Alice adeptly took the cards handed by Seele. Oh, it's Ali. Alice will host. The story of the adventurers and the Dark Dragon begins. The Dark Dragon is evil. It destroyed and looted the world. Adventurers, you have trekked so far and finally reached the Dark Dragon's lair. You decided to take a rest tonight to refresh and fight the Dark Dragon tomorrow. That's it? We're about to fight the final boss already? The next day, you wake up in a strange room. What do you do, adventurers? Same thing I did when I woke up here this morning. Scream! I think I'll pass out. What about you, Grand Sage Y? I light a torch. The room is lit by Grand Sage Y's torch. You see many treasure chests. Please wait. Alice needs to roll the dice to decide your results. Seele passed out but was woken up again by Water Dijin's scream. What do you do next, Miss Dijin? A room full of treasure chests. Can I go check those chests? I opened the biggest one. Water Dijin opened a treasure chest and is blinded by glittering treasure. Water Dijin loses her sight for one round. Wait a second. Alice, this game doesn't feel right. The timing of dice rolling is already weird, and why would somebody be blinded when opening a treasure chest? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't? Alice tilted. Oh, that's cute! Alice tilted her head to look at Water Dijin, with a hint of confusion in her emotionless voice. Oh, the way her hand like that, it was cute. Database showed the same thing happened to adventurers before. The game will simulate all possible threats. Alice game is designed to test and toughen adventurers. Try your best to avoid danger and prove yourselves. But all we've experienced so far are bad things: falling into a trap, losing baggage, food poisoning, getting hurt. Alice has fun, happy stories. You're out of luck and missed them all. Frogs rained down at the prince's wedding. In a distant kingdom, a lost traveler strayed into the territory of a race of tiny people. The country in the far north has no sight of free seasons. All of these stories are too bizarre to make sense to me, and I'm a DJ. And you just play along like this, Grand Sage? The girl who was referred to as Grand Sage seemed reticent. She fixed her eyes and her cards without looking up. Great, another cold fish. She talks less than the one with two horns on her head. Would have thought the legendary Grand Sage just hides under the ruins and play games with the little girl all day. It's called Board RPG. BGRPG for adventurers. The Grand Sage created it to help adventurers improve their capabilities. With all due respect, I don't think anyone who could pass Forest Legion's trial would need this. Especially the Monster Delta. That Monster Delta. Miss Delta would be mad at you if she knew you said that. I know, that's why I said it behind her back. Anyway, where's she? Why hasn't she joined us? Grand Sage told me she's still up there being tested. But why does she need extra tests? She's way stronger than us. Grand Sage Y said, Alice, they don't need to know. Continue the game. But the adventurers asked a question. Alice is supposed to answer their question. Keep doing that. Have better judgment, Alice. Some questions will only bring problem if answered. There was a loud thump as something crashed into the iron door of the chamber. Who's there? It's me. Jing? Grand Sage? Why did you hit the door so hard? Just get in. No response, but some muffled muttering came from the other side of the door. What's wrong, Jingwei? Don't panic, I'm coming. No, don't open the door! Bring Alice and the adventurers and just run, the Dark Lord. Rah! With another thud, a large bulge stuck out from the thick iron door. Then came a deluge of thumps which finally seized them. The door broke up. When the door broke away from the frame and smashed into the wall onto the other side of the... Wait, what? As everyone's jaw dropped, Delta lowered her leg at the door. Knee strikes, hook kicks, side kicks, tail sweep. I haven't practiced my fighting moves for ages. Kinda rusty. Delta tail flicked and tossed two Grand Sages, who had been bound by her tail among the four girls in the chamber. Owie, my head is spinning. So many Alice. Is this what infernal regions looks like? I look like? There's only chaos in sight. Hey, are you two alright? Wake up! Miss Delta! Oh, you are here, Seele and Idiot Dijin. I see you two have been taken good care of. I think so. We were just playing a board game with Miss Alice. Seele, I think she means kidnapping. What? Kidnapping? No. Miss Dijin and I are fine. Miss Alice and the Grand Sage have been very nice to us. Grand Sage just told us that you were still being tested. There must be some misunderstanding. Being tested? Ha! For what? To see if I'm qualified Dark Lord? Huh? I see you have given up lying, Dark Lord. Dark Lord, adventurer, human, whatever you wanna call me, I'm not here for you. It's you whom I'm looking for. Delta raised her greatsword and pointed at Alice, who had remained silent. I played a few games with those two little creatures for a while, and they told me everything. The two of them and the one with strip stockings, none of them is the real Great Sage. They're just support elves. Huh? Then where is the real Grand Sage? Could it be... The real Grand Sage is you, am I right, little girl? Some questions will only bring problems if answered. Alice must have better judgment. Grand Sage Wyatt told Alice this. Alice refuses to answer your question. Suddenly, Alice's body emitted glaring white light when everyone else could open their eyes again. This place is... the ruins? We're back on the ground again? This is the magic of displacement that the Grand Sage left to Alice. And Alice used to the magic of ruins barriers as well. Grand Sage X was pointing at the vacant lot not very far from them. Alice and Delta were standing in the middle of the lot, while the others were kept out by a light wall. Seriously, I'm not interested in beating a kid up. But if that's the only way to get the answer from you, then you left me no choice. Hey, no fighting. Oh wait, what the fuck? Those who hurt Alice's friend are bad people. Oh. Ow. What the fuck is that? That's a new robot? Wait, let me see. Oh, he has a minigun. Ooh. That's a new robot. That's a new enemy. Wow. Are you done? You could get hurt. Quit messing around, silly. Alice is not messing around. Alice has been collecting data, observing and analyzing you. Huh? Data collection complete. Alice can answer your question now. Alice is not the real Grand Sage. The real Grand Sage has gone for ages. The Grand Sage made Alice and the support elves to continue the research and protect the ruins. So that's the reason why you had to fight me? Delta looked back and glanced at the three Grand Sages. Wrong. Alice fought you in order to collect data and identify you. Result of analysis, Delta is similar but not identical to the Dark Lord. Delta does not belong to this world, just like the Dark Lord, but Delta is not the Dark Lord. Miss Delta doesn't belong to this world? Yeah, why are you so surprised? I didn't tell you? No, how could you not tell us something this important? But even if she told us, we wouldn't believe her. Alice apologizes. Elves misjudged Delta. Elves should apologize too. Sorry, we shouldn't have been so hot-headed. The three elves stood in a row behind Delta, their little heads slowly. When the three of you entered the ruins, you were all tested by the magic of discernment left by the Grand Sage. And the result shows that the composition of Delta is highly similar to the Dark Lord. Alice suggested transferring the other two adventurers to the inside of the ruins to protect them while observing you. But the three of us couldn't afford the possibility of the Dark Lord destroying Alice and the ruins. So we discussed and decided to take you out with the ruins defense device. Or weaken you a little at least. You mean that stupid trap with green light? Gee, how weak do you think I am? Our trap is fine, it's just that you're so unreasonably strong. I didn't say anything. The elves has no ill intent. They just wanted to protect the ruins. To be more precise, they wanted to protect something in the ruins. Am I right? ... And so did you. You teleported us on the ground because you didn't want something underground to be smashed during our fight. It's Alice that they tried to protect. Huh? Sigh, let me explain this to you adventurers. Long ago, when the Grand Sage was still here, this place hadn't been reduced to rubble. It used to be the Grand Sage laboratory, and three of us were her assistants created by her. When the Dark Lord descended, it brought infinite monsters and destruction, as well as countless magic devices and books from another world. Another bubble universe maybe. I knew it. The Grand Sage had been studying those devices and books in the hope of finding out ways to defeat the Dark Lord. I see, including Feynman lectures of physics, right? You know the book where the puzzle I was given came from. I've never heard of it before, but the Grand Sage did compile all useful information in the books into her scriptures. Those adventures in the past bought us a lot of time, but we failed to find a way to defeat the Dark Lord anyway. There were a few methods that might work, but the odds were heavily against us, and they were very dangerous. Those methods were sealed by the Grand Sage in the ruins, and touched by one ever since. At the end of life, the Grand Sage utilized all her knowledge to build an unparalleled massive magic barrier. The barrier isolated the part of the world where the Dark Lord had already destroyed, etc., the floating isles, from the rest of the world where humanity could be safe from monsters. So humanity's been living in a sheltered garden ever since, and the tales about the Dark Lord are gradually forgotten. While Alice is the core of the barrier. What? The Grand Sage made a pact with the Digits. The Digits select qualified adventurers and send them to the ruins to be trained to fight the Dark Lord. Alice blocks monsters from the floating isles. The Digits will help too when things get out of hand. This is how the pact works, as always. So this place is actually a training base for adventurers? Correct. Alice and the elves designed games and made devices to train adventurers. The floating isles are the closest to the Dark Castle and thus the most dangerous. Alice would only send adventurers there after the training. Did my big sister disappear on the floating isles? Her name is Bronya. She's the same height as me and normally wears her silver hair in ponytails like this. Seele took out her pen and notepad, trying to draw a sketch of Bronya to show to Alice. Alice has met Bronya. She is good at playing games. Alice likes her. But Alice cannot answer your question. Huh? Under normal circumstances, the ruins barrier only allows one-way passage from the ruins to the floating isles. The barrier would collapse only after the energy of the Dark Lord dissipates, which means Bronya might still be on the floating isles. Oh, and other adventurers too. Wait, this isn't right. There are fewer monsters now, so if the Dark Lord's already been defeated by Bronya, why is the barrier still on? Sorry, Alice does not know the answer. But let it go, Seele. You won't get answers here no matter what. And even if you do, you won't believe it anyway. Just push on and find the truth yourself. It's the meaning of your whole adventure. Tat. Hey, you're mean, Delta. Shut up. You're unbelievable. Alice, give this brat more tests. The hardest test you have. Make her suffer so she'll learn to be nicer to people. Alice refuses. The trial is over. Alice considers your team strong enough to pass the trial and go to the floating isles. Delta's power is unprecedented according to Alice's database. Stronger than Bronya? Correct. Well, that's because you've only seen very few people and are therefore easy to impress. And Seele's strong determination to find her sister gives her great strength to fight her enemy. Yes, I must find Bronya and take her home. What about me? I'm as strong as them, right? Water Dijon resembles the Grand Sage. They both have beautiful silver hair and lovely blue eyes. Narrator. Everyone was shocked at Alice's response. The Grand Sage was petite and the same height as Alice. She always wore a trencher cap and a pair of round spectacles. This would make me look less cute and much wiser. She once said so. But her favorite clothes was actually a cute blue and white dress. She looked like the Alice in Wonderland in that dress. And Water Dijon's dress has the same colors. I don't know what to say. Thanks, perhaps? So that's why you were named Alice by the Grand Sage. Wrong. Alice picked her own name. Alice was once called Omega, a code name given by the Grand Sage, which means last piece of work. But Alice did not like it. Alice wanted a real name rather than a code name to remember the Grand Sage. So Alice is curious. Delta is not a real name, but a code name. Humanity does not like code name, but you only have a code name. Why do you have no real name? Everyone turned to look at Delta. She remained silent for a while. I once had a name, but not anymore. Like you said, names are for remembering some people, or something. I have nothing worth remembering. A code name for others to refer to me is enough. And I don't care it's Delta or what. Alice does not understand. You'll understand when you grow up. Alice has lived far longer than you. Ooh, sick word. Let it go, Alice. That cold fish won't tell you if she doesn't want to. Slightly, it's some important info anyway. She'll probably throw a huge tantrum and smash your ruins if you push her too hard. Huh? You're not as stupid as you look. Alright, Alice still does not understand, but Alice will inquire no more. The passage to the floating isles will open in 300 seconds. Please get ready, adventurers. Miss Alice, would you like to go with us? You deserve your own adventure rather than just recording others. Sorry, Alice cannot leave. Huh? The Alice in front of you is not the real Alice. Alice's physical form is a massive, immovable device at the bottom of the ruins, and my human form only exists on this side of the barrier. Wah, how could this be? It's the order given by the Grand Sage. Alice must comply. Alice must stay. But Alice feels happy to have met you all, adventurers. But if the Dark Lord had no longer exist, the barrier will also disappear, and you will be able to live here then, right? Correct. No Dark Lord, no need to maintain the barrier. In the situation, Alice can live. Then, Miss Alice, can we invite you to go on adventures after we defeat the Dark Lord? But if there's no Dark Lord, there won't be any adventures to take. Well, we can still go on a trip together then. ... Alice has recorded Seele's invite. Alice will wait for Seele to come back and go on trips together. Seele held Alice's hands and wouldn't let go. Alright, Seele, time to go. The passage has already opened. And take your tears back. They are not needed here. Hey! You too, idiot Dijin. Hurry up. Delta grabbed Water Dijin and forcefully dragged her towards the passage. Access granted. Please go on, adventurers. Seele finally let go of Alice's hands and slowly walked to the entrance to the passage. She looked back at Alice, unwilling to take another step. Hey, Delta. Should we go help her get through this? Nope, that's her problem. She gotta deal with it alone. You have a heart of stone. Are you a Dijin too? The stone of Dijin. Not funny. Then what do you expect me to say? Us Dijin do have some juicy stories to tell. Alright, tell me the story about the pact then. Which Dijin made the pact with the Grand Sage? ... There was an awkward silence. Whatever, I'm not that interested anyway. Suddenly, they heard quick footsteps approaching. Delta looked back and saw Seele, her head lowly. Done saying goodbye to them? Yeah, then let's go. The three girls marched towards the floating aisles in total silence. Soon they reached the end of the passage and walked out in dazzling sunlight. The next moment, greetings, adventurers from faraway lands. Welcome to the floating isles. Wow, almost 1 hour. Okay, thank you for watching. Leave a comment if you have any, and I'll catch you on to the next video. Goodbye.